Amazon, Chronicles from the Afterlands. His friend.
The Sakura had been watching the old man as he dug for hours on end, a pit at the top of the mound between his two cabins. The mosquitoes that swarmed above the waters of the nearby Amazon River feasted on him. The Sakura, in turn, devoured these flying aggressors one by one, catching them with his extendable tongue, his own primal way of protecting the old man, who had been his neighbor since forever. The Sakura then followed the old man into the surrounding jungle. There, he watched him laboriously gather 2 straight tree branches, both thin but sturdy. He tied them together, the shorter one placed perpendicularly to the longer, before planting them in front of the freshly dug pit, and finally engraving on the shorter branch, Luis Angel, an inscription that the Sakura could not decipher, of course. He was a stranger to the very concept of reading, just as he was to the concept of an epitaph. The old man then sat at the table of his first cabin, the one overlooking the river. The Sakura had spied on him as he carefully filled the pages of what seemed to be 2 distinct letters. Once he was done, the old man pinned them to the table with his knife, as if to ensure they would stay in place, despite the absence of wind in this tropical region. The old man got lost in contemplation of the Amazon River. For hours, he sipped that strange beverage, which seemed to bring him as much pleasure as the enjoyment of mosquitoes did to the Sakura. Until, as always, the old man's head began to gently droop towards his chest, a half smile on his lips. Usually, this would be followed with a long, loud series of snores that could be heard hundreds of yards away, unknowingly protecting the Sakura from his predators. But not this time. Who knows how long the Sakura stayed there, watching the motionless old man. The moon had replaced the sun several times. Tropical rains had poured down. The Sakura waited, and kept waiting. He waited even when the black-haired lady had risen from the shadows of the jungle and began deciphering the letters left by the old man under the shelter of his cabin. And he still waited when she had carried the old man to the pit he had dug and laid him down in it, with neither disrespect nor sentimentality. It was only after she had returned to the jungle that the little Sakura toddled over to the pit. The black-haired lady had filled it in. All that remained was a small mound of freshly tilled soil beneath the cross assembled by the old man. The Sakura scrambled to the top, devouring a passing wasp butterfly, and comfortably curled up on the freshly turned soil. He would wait patiently for the old man to return. There was no hurry. He already missed his old friend.